This is my story of my life living with BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. And as you can see, my dog is in chaos just like me, because that basically is how I live every day. It's in chaos. I have this mental illness that I'll basically tell you it severely impacts a person's ability to regulate their emotions. So I haven't been able to do that since I was, a teenager. I wasn't diagnosed with it until just recently, but I know I had it my whole life. And you'll be seeing my animals coming into frame every once in a while, because that's what they do. They kind of just peruse my room. I am basically spend most of my days in my bed. I suffer from major depression, was diagnosed with bipolar depression disorder at one time, but then it was updated to BPD, anxiety disorder. I've had substance abuse problems. If I do try to drink just to have fun in a normal situation, I usually cannot just have one drink. I need several drinks before I can satisfy my urge or craving of alcohol. I have been known to drink until I fall down, pass out. There are just so many different things that I've done wrong within drinking alcohol. I now rarely ever drink, if any, because of all of my medications that I take. Stop. That's gross. My medications that I take are not supposed to be taken with alcohol, but sometimes I do fail to follow my guidelines, and sometimes I'll have actually a couple drinks. I can have a couple drinks now and be satisfied with it. I've learned control, but like I said, there was, in my teenage years, I had alcohol problems. I didn't drink for a long time when I was married, but then I ended up starting to drink in about my 10th year of marriage, and is probably one of the problems for my divorce. Because once I started drinking, I had a problem not drinking, or having the ability to go out and have a couple of drinks. I didn't have that control. Stop. Sorry, my dog's being kind of gross here. What he's doing, just doggy things, but yeah, so I've had substance abuse. I have not done any illegal drugs. My drug of choice is alcohol, and eating disorders. So I have never been bulimic or have anorexia, but I do binge, and I do not purge, but I will go several days without not eating anything but just a few things, to the next day eating way more than I probably should in just one day. and then I'll go for several days without eating again. So I'm not quite sure what that is called. I'm sure there is a diagnosis that comes with that, but that is my eating disorder. Let me see. So I'm going to be I'm breaking down everything about BPD into different aspects. So one time I will be talking about the symptoms, causes, diagnosis, in between all of that, I will go over what I experience in my life. I do live in constant chaos. I have developed agoraphobia, which is fear of places and situations that might cause panic, helplessness, or embarrassment. So I basically don't leave my house very often. I walk my dogs, which I can't even walk my dogs around the block. It's I panic too much. I am only able to take them out in the yard, which is disadvantage to my dogs, but they seem to be okay with it. I play with them a lot inside the house. They play a lot inside the house. My neighbors probably hate me, but sorry for my camera angles. I'll get better at it. But yeah, I don't go anywhere. I basically order food from Walmart and go pick it up. I used to be able to have them deliver it, but I can't afford that now. But I will go pick up my food, so I only have to interact with one person. When I have to pick up my medications, sometimes I have them just bring it out to my car. But sometimes I have some medications that I have to show my ID to get the medication, so I have to go inside to pick it up, of which I have a pretty good relationship with my pharmacist and all the employees, so I feel safe enough to go into the store long enough to get my medication, and I usually leave after that. But if there's one or two things that I have to get that isn't in my ability to get something ordered, I have to have certain amounts that I order. So if I just need a couple things, it's really, really hard for me to go in just to get those things, but I just focus on, basically I look at the cart the whole time, and I just go directly to what I need to get and get out as fast as possible. And I do self-checkout, so I don't have to deal with the cashier. Yeah, so it's not easy. I cannot work. I can't be in a situation where something might happen and I get embarrassed, or I find something that I can't do or I'm not good at, then I feel like I just can't do it. I wish I could be able to live a normal life where I work every day and come home. I did for the longest time, but I pretty much the whole time I was in panic mode when I worked, and that's nobody really knows that. But if I couldn't, like my last job, I was a order picker for Walmart, and if I couldn't find the product as soon as I walked up to it, I would panic, not being able to see it. And then when I would see it, there would be such a huge relief, which shouldn't have been that big of a problem, but it was to me. If the product was up too tall, because I'm very short, and I couldn't reach it, I would frantically look around and see if there was someone tall enough to help me. Otherwise, they had sticks that we could actually get the product down easier. But if I didn't have that, I basically would panic and just not be able to get that product. I would just walk away, which we weren't supposed to, but I just couldn't handle the anxiety behind it. And if I had a big load that I had to do, a large selection that I had to get for all the people on my cart, I would panic because it's timed. You have to have it done in a timely order, which I'm not. It just takes me a little bit longer to do stuff just because of my anxiety and panic issues. So it just was not a good job for me. I enjoyed it for a little while, but because I didn't have to talk to anybody. I just was able to walk through the store and not talk with anybody, but sometimes people would stop me and ask me where stuff was, and then if I didn't know where it was, I would panic. It just was not a good thing for me. So what actually happened is I ended up hurting my shoulder, and I could not lift anything over like 5 pounds, not even that, for the longest time. So I was out of work for a long time from that. And then my surgery, I had to have surgery. And it took me a long time to heal from that. And I actually never healed all the way. I still cannot even pick up like a 24-pack of pop or whatever with my arm. It's too heavy. And I did do rehab and everything, but it just didn't work. And so I was out for a long time. I was out for over 6 months for that. And then I ended up hurting my knee. I had to have physical therapy on that. I twisted it and fell, and I had to have physical therapy for that. I didn't have surgery for that. I still have problems with it, though. I probably should have more rehab, to be honest. So I was out for an extended amount of time, and the longer that I stayed out of work, the more I couldn't do things. The more my panic and my anxiety grew to where it was just easier just to stay inside the house because nothing would hurt me or embarrass me or scare me or just make me go manic panic modes. So it's just, that's my life in a nutshell. I mean, I can go to doctor's visits, but I rarely, if I can do it over the phone, I usually try to do that. But if they have to see like my knee or whatever like that, I have to go in, or blood draws, I have to go in, and I don't talk to anybody but the doctors, which I trust. So it's a safe place for me to go to. I can go to certain people's houses every once in a while. It's very rare, but I do go see a niece. I do go see I don't see my grandson nearly as much as I want to. I mean, I went on probably 3 months section that I didn't see him at all, and I just now have started seeing him again. Hopefully once a week I can go see him, because he is my life. He really has been, and it's been so hard the last 3 months because I've been trying to regulate my medication. I couldn't get out of bed for the longest time, so with my depression, and so I'm getting on the right track, I think, to where I can get up and do more stuff, but I ultimately always retreat to my bed. Not out of being lazy or anything like that. It's just my anxiety is so high. It takes me a lot to even just get up and do the dishes or I can only do one thing a day. So if I do the dishes, that's an accomplishment for me. I do try to do a little bit more. If it's just dishes, I'll sweep the floor or do whatever. But that's here and there. But it's what I'm getting at. It's just really, really, really hard. And I don't think anybody really understands the disease, the illness. Mine has the agoraphobia, which some of it doesn't normally have it. That's what I have on top of it. So my life is a little bit harder, I would say, but I can't compare my life to anybody else's, and I'm not going to compare my life to anybody else's. I'm just saying agoraphobia makes my life just a little bit more harder. So I think I'll end that for that much today, and then on further ones I'll go through how you get diagnosed, what other things can happen at the same time. I'll break everything else down in further videos. But for now, I'll have to say goodbye, and I'll talk to you later.